The views and opinions expressed by the participants on this show are not necessarily those of Stewart Information Services Corporation, Stewart Title, or Stewart Insurance. Before you make any investment, you should seek the advice of your investment advisor or attorney.
Whether you're a real estate broker, realtor, homeowner, buyer, or seller, everything matters when it comes to real estate. This is Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. Stewart Title's Bill Knapik and guests open the door to what really matters in owning, buying, and selling real estate. And now, Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title, brought to you by Stewart Insurance. Here to inform, entertain, and inspire, Bill Knapik.
Welcome to the show. It is Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. Another edition is right here. I am your host, Bill Knapik, and we're going to talk to tremendous real estate professionals and some of our own team right here on Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. We're glad you joined us. As always, you can go to the show archives at stewart.com/radio, where you can see the show again. You can see the YouTube videos, and you can access past shows from a week ago, 2 weeks ago, and even years ago. So let's get down to business as we start and welcome Valerie Treese. Her company is Weichert Realtors. Valerie, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me, Bill.
Well, it's good to see you. Real estate is always exciting, and you are here with a big smile. So let's tell people, first of all, about your company, Weichert.
Yes, Weichert Realtors actually is a fantastic company. Wayne Murray is our broker who has had offices here for 40 years. Our home office is off Hillcroft, and we have 3 other offices servicing Fort Bend County, the Woodlands, and Katy, as well as like our Houston office. We have a great group of realtors, and like I mentioned earlier, that we becomes before I and Weichert because we're more of a group. We're in business for ourselves, but not by ourselves.
Well, that's awesome. And as always, people that listen to the show, whether they're real estate professionals or people that aren't going to buy or sell yet, or those that are thinking about it, they always want to know what's going on in the market. I think that's why the real estate shows of all sorts are popular. But if you were to tell people, just generally speaking, Valerie, and geographically where you serve the most, how is the market right now?
Right now, buyers and tenants are coming out of the woodwork. They are all looking for a new home. They are finding that the inventory on the ground isn't quite what they're looking for. So even though our inventory numbers have been high, they've come down and the choices are slimmer. And so people are looking to move this spring. Is definitely changing over last year.
Because we were hearing that there's plenty of choices just a little while ago for buyers, maybe more than before, but you're saying that the choices may be slimming down a bit?
Yes. We've seen lots of listings terminate off the market or go expired. The sellers chose not to sell their home anymore. We've had some people listing their home at unrealistically high prices as well, not realizing that even though the market was in 2022, homes were selling much higher than what they are now. Homes still typically appreciate, but the incredible appreciation that we had in 2022 is no longer being realized. And so realistic pricing for homes this year is what's going to be important.
And then geographically, as people listen to the show, not just here in the Houston area, but even on the internet, all over the place, as far as Houston goes, geographically, what area have you been in most, say, in the last 10, 20 transactions?
For the most part, Fort Bend County. Sure. It's southwest of Houston. It consists of Sugar Land, Stafford, Missouri City, Rosenberg, Richmond, Needville, Katy.
Well, out of that group, it's kind of interesting, as people are very aware, outside of Houston, they hear about the Woodlands, but the other place that's in a different direction that you mentioned is Sugar Land. Everybody loves to hear about Sugar Land, and it's a memorable name, right?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
What's the market like now in Sugar Land, if I were wanting to buy in Sugar Land right now?
Well, there's 3 zip codes in Sugar Land. 77479 has the highest price point. That one also includes some newer construction. 77498 is near the old sugar factory. It's kind of considered older Sugar Land. You'll get bigger homes that are a little bit older at a better price point. And then 77478 is right off of 59, close to actually where our Stewart Title office is. And it has a lot of older homes as well.
So right now, if I want to buy in Sugar Land, it sounds like I have quite a few choices.
You do. The price point goes from about mid 200s all the way up to the millions.
Well, also you mentioned Katy. Now, a lot of people hear about Katy, and we can make that simple. It's just directly west of the center of Houston, right?
Absolutely. There used to be a break in between Katy and Houston. You used to be able to see some green, but not anymore.
It's just stuff everywhere. And then, how's the market in Katy? Are you working in Katy very much?
No, not recently, but Katy is consistently growing. It's pushing out more out west with lots of new construction. One thing that Katy offers with all the new construction is all the development that's going out that direction. One thing that kind of keeps me out of the Katy as far as the new development is the extra traffic instead of getting into town, where I'm finding that Sugar Land and Pearland offer better commute into downtown Houston.
Lots of traffic everywhere, no doubt. I'm very near, I live near Katy, and yeah, it's always traffic, except at certain times. So it's there are certain times where it's nice, but one of the features I would tell people in terms of Katy is that I enjoy is you have the toll road, so that if the regular road, even if you're by yourself and you pay the toll, sometimes that toll road's a real lifesaver to get either east or west. So I like that.
That is true. I actually came in from Katy this morning and took West Park.
There you are. I was waving at you. I don't know if you saw me. In the meantime, also, one of the nice things when you mentioned Fort Bend, let's tell people about, as far as Sugar Land, yeah, it's kind of a regular, quote, neighborhood with various prices, but you mentioned some other places that might have some more rural aspects to them where people might want some extra room. Let's tell people about, and would that be Rosenberg or?
Rosenberg less so. Rosenberg used to be one of those options, but we're more towards Needville and Beasley is where you might find some land now.
What's it like down there? Is it people attracted to that area right now?
Yes, they are. They are very attracted to that area. You get the lovely balance of country life, nice and peaceful. You actually get to see those beautiful bright stars of the Texas night out that way because a lot less light pollution. The school districts, at least in Needville, are still highly rated, and you can get some space to stretch out.
We're talking with Valerie Treese with Weichert Realtors. And Valerie, as far as marketing, of course, here you are today on the radio. Millions are listening, maybe I don't know how many. But that said, from a marketing standpoint, all realtors are out there, and you're trying to promote helping buyers and sellers. What are the things you're doing other than being here today to promote your business?
Well, I do postcard mail-outs. I also do a lot of social media. I have branding on my car, and I've actually made a little icon with ChatGPT of me in my convertible because I see people all over town. That has helped people remember who I am. Additionally, a lot with my community and sphere of influence. I volunteer. I'm the troop coordinator for American Heritage Girls Troop 1001. But staying connected with community and sphere and being in front of people all the time is how I market myself.
And it sounds like you have your name on your car. Mm-hmm. So right there, that's nice. Do you get a response from that?
I do. I do.
That's interesting. So even the beauty of that, it seems like, I've never had that, but even when you're not driving and the car's sitting still, it's still doing some work for you.
Absolutely.
And you said it's convertible.
Yes. So people notice it.
So you got so you're a marketing genius. So you do get a response. And when you get a response, I'd be curious, if you get a response from your car in the branding of the car, what is it? Is there a typical pattern where they said, hey, I saw you at the store, or I saw you driving in Sugar Land or wherever? What do
it's
you hear?
Usually people that I know at least at first or third degree, someone that know from the community, but they see my car all the time, and so they remember. So when they have a real estate need, one of my newest buyers, I actually started working with because they see my car every week going to church.
So as far as here we are, the year has started, it's well underway. What's your feeling and speculation as we go forth? How do you think things are going to play out as we move forward here?
I feel like this is going to be a very busy year for real estate. There's a lot of pent-up buyer demand that we didn't have realized last year. A lot of people do want to realize home ownership and have that, whereas they didn't take advantage of it before. We're forecasted to have lower interest rates. Home pricing, I think, is stabilized. So it's just a really great time to buy.
Outside of real estate, when you're not working. Now, real estate is all-encompassing. I know you're probably busy all the time, but when you're not working in real estate, what do you do to unwind or to relax? Bake cookies?
I do bake cookies, yes. They're an oatmeal chocolate chip cookie that I make them once a year for all of my clients, for open houses, and for all my friends, including my favorite title rep over at Stewart Title.
What's that person's name?
Kevin Davidson.
Kevin happens to be right here in the room. We're going to hear from Kevin in a little bit. But okay, baking cookies, and I would think that's a nice therapeutic thing to do, baking, cooking. I'm not a chef or a baker, but outside of that, what else do you do? I drive around in the convertible, I imagine.
Absolutely.
That's still kind of work, though, because you have the sign.
That's it. And even like a day-to-day, that's kind of chilly outside, but as long as the sun is out, it is great to drive around with that top down.
I haven't been in a convertible lately, but my favorite mode of convertible driving would be on a cool day with the heater on and the sunshine.
Amen.
There you go. That sounds good. Well, Valerie Treese, what else should we know about what you're doing, and what else should potential buyers and sellers know? What do you want them to know?
I love working with clients of all needs, especially those who are first-time home buyers. I always put my clients' needs first, and I work hard to make sure they get exactly what they want in the real estate transaction.
And as far as you mentioned, I think it's the second time you mentioned first-time buyers. Are you serving a lot of the first-time buyers? Are there a lot of them out there that are looking for homes?
Yes and yes. People are realizing that they're paying this large payment out every month, and it's only paying for their landlord's mortgage, but it's not helping them build equity. And plus, there's other tax advantages, et cetera, to home ownership that they're starting to realize.
And I would imagine rents, like everything else, is going up.
Absolutely. Absolutely. In fact, I have a client under contract right now. In fact, when I leave here, I'm going to the inspection, that her payment will be a couple $100 less per month by purchasing her property than what she'll be paying in rent.
And I would think in the world of the first-time buyer, there are those that seek you out and they already say, hey, it's time for me to buy. I'm tired of renting. But do you ever find people that you see them renting and then you actually advise them and say, hey, by the way, guys, do you run into that?
Yes, I do. It's typically people I've helped find leases that we stay in connection over the year. And I show them the advantages of owning versus renting. In fact, I even send them a postcard that says, stop paying rent.
Valerie, let's tell people, in case they want to reach out to you, potential buyers or sellers, or if someone has a question, maybe they want to know your cookie recipe. I don't know. Let's tell people how they can reach you, Valerie Treese.
Sure. You could call or text at 713-927-5877. My website is super simple. It's valerietreese.com. And you can find me at all Facebooks and LinkedIn. Again, just Valerie Treese. I'm everywhere. Treece. 713-927-5877.
Valerie, thanks for being with us.
Thank you so much for having me.
As we move along, it's time to talk with Gabe Saavedra. He is with Ferris Realty. Gabe, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Well, once again, it's been a while. You've been on the show a long time ago. But first of all, Gabe, let's tell people about the company you're with there, Ferris Realty.
Yes. So we run the largest relocation team here in Houston. We're just shy of 70 agents, and our largest platform for doing that is through our 2 YouTube channels. So actually, we're coming up on our 1-year anniversary of merging both of them, but we have the original Living in Houston, Texas YouTube channel, and then Living in Houston, Texas.
I've seen one of those channels.
I'm sure you have.
It's a great channel.
Was it Kyler or was it JoJo and Jackson?
I do not remember, but in fact, I should remember. It was last night. I was looking at a bunch of YouTube channels, and now that I'm thinking about it, I'm looking at you.
Was it 1 or 2 people?
It was 1.
Okay, so that was Kyler.
How about that?
It's Kyler Ferris.
Well, let's talk about that. As far as what you're doing there in terms of the YouTube, so you're using that as a vehicle.
Correct.
But first of all, you said relocation. I'll state the obvious. People are still moving to Houston.
Oh, my goodness. Get out of here.
Just a few, right?
Yeah. Not quite like we've seen in past markets, but there is a heavy demand coming from, we've seen a lot from California, Jersey, New York, Florida, some from Louisiana as well. So,
I was in California last week, and I could see beautiful ocean, sunsets, the Laguna Beach, no doubt about it.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of reasons
to be down here.
To be here, there's no doubt about it. I mean, I filled up with gas at $4.90 a gallon and ate some $17 sandwiches, and it's like, what?
Yeah.
But anyway, very beautiful out there. But they're coming here to Houston for a variety of reasons.
Mm-hmm.
So, and you also mentioned that's California, that's West Coast. What you mentioned, New Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
What's it? Tell us about some New Jersey
so
interest you've had.
I've actually spoke with a lot of people. I would say this is the most interesting, facet of our industry as we get to really dive in interpersonal with clients. In the AI space, or tech space, I should say, is getting very difficult for employment. There's been a lot of people, especially moving from the Northeast or even, west like California, that are struggling with maintaining employment in these certain areas. And they can come into the Texas job market and really compete in those fields. So I would say that's probably number one, but two is also cost of living. Like you had mentioned in California, it's crazy expensive. Also in New York, also in the greater Northeast, it's fairly expensive from what I've heard.
Well, give us a little bit of a walkthrough of what it's like. And let's say, and do any of these people see you on YouTube and then they reach out to you? Is that how it works? How does it work? That's what we want to know.
Great question. So we have JoJo and Jackson. They run the original Living in Houston, Texas YouTube channel. And then there's Kyler. Kyler Ferris runs the Living in Houston, Texas YouTube channel. They've both merged under Ferris Realty. And so those leads will come in. I don't service areas like Rosenberg, Katy, Pearland, Baytown. I can go down there, but really my niche, if I can niche it down, is Montgomery County. So when we have clients come in, per se, wanting to see a home or a community in Montgomery, it gets delegated out to those agents that live in that specific market area. Whereas, I'm not going to get called out on a Sunday to go show in Rosenberg when, one, I don't service that area normally, but two, it's also about 2.5 hours away from where my home base is. So through that team of, I want to say we're in the mid 60s, we're just shy of 70 agents right now. Within our YouTube team, we have about 20 agents that get delegated those leads. I mean, we've found great success through it. Everybody gets audited on, a 3-day to week basis on, who's come in. Have you actually followed up with this person? Have you been diligent with reaching out to this person? And if not, then the lead gets swept. So it's very competitive in that sense. It's not just like somebody came in, when you get a chance, reach out to them. It's like, hey, we have automated text that you can send out. Even if you're showing or, if you're at a closing or on the radio, you can, send that text out super quick and then call them once you're done.
So it sounds like, number one, your company, no matter what part of Houston, mm-hmm. they're going to be able to serve the person or family that's reaching out from wherever. But the part of the YouTube team with the two people you mentioned, mm-hmm. they get the leads. And then if someone's interested in Montgomery or the Woodlands, mm-hmm. that's where you come into play.
Yeah.
Is that right?
It's all essentially, so really if we can look at the org chart from a bird's eye view, there's Kyler, JoJo, and Jackson, and then we have a sales manager. His name's Mark. Mark essentially sits there and delegates out the leads based on, what the phone call may have been or text or email survey that they send through. And in that case, he understands, what agents serve what market area is the best.
So let's say we're at the point where you get the lead
mm-hmm.
and this person is, pick a town, I don't know, California, East
mm-hmm.
Coast, whatever. You get the lead and then you talk to the people.
Correct. Can I tell you a really funny story?
Please do, yeah.
So one of my largest goals for this year was to get out and travel more. That was something I didn't quite get to do when I was younger. And so through my career, I've developed, what we all say is a flexible schedule, right? But yeah. I can essentially work remote, especially with the leverage of our large team. But I was in Santa Fe, New Mexico. I was snowboarding for the first time.
Nice.
And this is just how I am. Right now, I'm very rich with time. So I use all of my time and put it towards my business as much as possible, except for Sundays at about 10:30 in the morning. It's my time to, dive into the gospel. But I get a lead assigned to me while I'm at the base camp in a full ski scoot. Snowboarding. Yeah, I had one foot still on the board, actually. And this lead comes through. And I see on there that he was in New Mexico. They had a New Mexico address. So I call. I'm all amped up. I'm like, I don't want to share his name, but I was like, hey, I'm actually in New Mexico right now, and you just got sent my way. I wanted to reach out. He's moving into my neighborhood as well. So
oh my goodness.
I'm purchasing a house in Two Step Farm. It's one of the largest communities in Montgomery. Just so happened to be where he wanted to go. And so I'm like, oh my gosh, like instant rapport. I'm like, dude, I'm in New Mexico. First off, he's like, why are you skiing there? Like it said,
what's wrong with New Mexico?
Yeah, I was like, well, just the specific
first place I'd go.
The specific place I was snowboarding wasn't the greatest to all the New Mexicans. So he's like, dude, go check out Angel Fire. I was in Santa Fe instantly. I mean, we had like a 15, 20-minute conversation with broken cell service on the mountain. I think I spoke with him over the phone 5 or 6 times before they actually had come into town. Within an afternoon of him coming into town, through me being very intentional with the questions I ask over the phone, we were able to find him his house, and he is like through the roof. So he's building a brand new home with Perry in my neighborhood in Two Step Farm, and he was ecstatic.
So has he moved in yet, or that's pretty soon?
They're breaking ground on his property, I want to say within the coming week.
And just out of curiosity, what is his motivation to come to Houston from New Mexico?
So they had a home prior to New Mexico in Tomball. He has children that live in Cypress, or he and his wife have children that live in Cypress. And ultimately, he just felt disconnected from his family. So he's like, hey, we want to come home. They lived on about, I want to say like 60 acres in New Mexico. So he's like, he had
pretty cool.
Yeah, he had all the land, and then he's like, okay, it's time to go back home.
Okay, let's talk snowboarding. So in the meantime, I saw the snowboarding a little bit, at least an hour's worth on the Olympics.
Okay.
Did you see any of that? It looks very dangerous, at least what they were doing. I mean, they're going up a ramp, spinning, going upside down.
Yeah, it's fun. Don't do the jumps if it's your first time out. I did. Thankfully, I was wearing a helmet, but I found out I'm pretty top heavy.
So, but it does look like a lot of fun. Now, let's take a normal situation.
Okay.
Where that's just amazing that the person happened to be there. Then they're going to live in your neighborhood. You're going to be neighbors, maybe go out to Angel Fire or whatever.
Yeah.
So all that, you get a call from another person where you're here in Houston, the lead's been qualified, and you get it, and they've determined you're going to be in Montgomery or Woodlands. Mm-hmm. How long usually from the lead, every case is different, I know, how long from the lead till you actually get them placed? And I would imagine it's a scenario where you're talking to them when they're in another place, and that they come and take a trip to Houston. You lay out does it work like that?
Yes. Short answer is yes. Timeline, it really just depends. We have a lot of clients that will come through the YouTube channel that are doing a lot of legwork on the front end. So it's great for building, what we call in our industry a pipeline. Now, there have been a few leads that have come through that, I don't want to say their feet are exactly on fire, but they're coming in within, the next month or two. And that's typically when I'll sit down and go through a buyer consultation with them. So I always call it a very thought-provoking conversation, really just going through the different communities, what different amenities are within these certain communities, and also looking at it from a financial standpoint. I feel like that's something that, should definitely be taken into account. I've heard of a few situations of clients that I've helped after this had happened to them, where, they're buying in an HOA community, and there's certain fees that not all agents, I don't want to say catch, but might not portray to the buyer. There's fees like, capitalization fees, foundation fees, which really drastically raise your closing costs. So, for example, in my neighborhood, our annual HOA is $1,260. Pretty standard, I would say, for North Houston.
About, yeah.
But ultimately, the largest thing is there's a 0.5% capitalization fee on the purchase price of the home due at closing. So if you have a buyer that's really tight financially, and you're advising them or you're showing them around these different neighborhoods, and you don't talk about that on the front end, it can really lead to a bad situation. So going through all of that, asking, what's important about certain amenities within the neighborhood. Let's say it's an older couple, they don't really have any kids. Like, is the splash pad that important? Or also, if they want to go into a 55 and up community, it's like, what's really important about that? Is it that you can't stand kids around you? Because most of the time those sections of the neighborhoods are more expensive.
And of the people that you talk to, whether it's a couple or a person, how many of them have, when it's time for them to come to Houston and look at real estate, how many of them, oh yeah, well, I've been there before on a trip or whatever, but how many of them that you talk to that get here have never been, Houston is a brand new frontier, they've never even been here? Is there a lot of people that just never been to Houston that you serve?
No, there's been a lot of
there's
been a lot of people that have visited Houston, whether it's for leisure. I don't really know what much there is to do but sit in traffic. But most of the time it's careers that have brought them to Houston, and they're now getting relocated permanently here. So There's a lot of people that have actually been to Houston and visited, but not a lot that have dove deep into these certain communities and, looked at the entire scope of purchasing a home.
And Gabe, of all the things you could be doing a lot of things. You could be a professional snowboarder. I don't know your skill level there. All that said, why real estate? Why did you choose real estate to?
That's a really good question, and this is one that I can go on an absolute coattail for. Okay, so here's my one thing, and I was actually having this conversation with a business partner this morning. Growing up, I never had a financial struggle. I had a separated family. I had a father who was in the auto industry that did very well for himself, very well for our family. And the one thing, this is why I say I'm so rich with time right now, and that's why it's so important to me, is I didn't get much time. We had all the money, didn't have much time with my father. So, I was always the kid that was, waiting on an Uber, waiting on, a family friend to come pick me up from baseball practice or, a baseball game. And that was something that, nothing against my father whatsoever, I don't want to pass on to my children. So right now, while I am very rich with time, that's why I spend all of that on my business. So when I do reach, 35, 40, I can really pull back and, enjoy time with my kids and be there.
And real estate provides that opportunity for you.
Correct.
And the beauty of real estate, I would imagine it's exciting. Every situation's different. And in your case, you're helping people with coming from even different, not just different cities, but different cultures.
Correct. Yeah.
I mean, California is a different culture. It's fantastic. I was there last week. It's different culture. New Jersey, been there, lived near there. So all that, I think that's fascinating. And as we look at this great United States, there are so many different places to go that are phenomenal and we can all learn from.
Yeah.
And a lot of them, they're coming here to Houston.
Right.
Right. They're going to be calling you too.
Oh my goodness, they better be.
So let's tell people a little bit more about your YouTube channel so they know about it. It's called
the Living in Houston, Texas YouTube channel. If you just look that up, or even Living in Houston, they'll both come up. There's one that says OG HTX, and then there's one that says Living in Houston, Texas.
And you're all having some fun with that, in addition to doing business.
A lot.
Gabe, what else should we know before we close this segment?
If you are looking to purchase or sell any piece of real estate within Montgomery County, I want to be your saving grace with that. This market is tough, and there are a lot of false opinions or uneducated opinions. So I'd love to, sit down and chat and ultimately see how my team and I can help you make the best of it.
In a quick word, and I could be wrong, but when I think of Montgomery County, I don't know why, I think that the taxes are lower there in terms of property taxes. Generally speaking, is that true?
Correct. So in certain areas, you can get down to, I was showing homes on Saturday at 1.58%. That's in an area called Magnolia. In the Woodlands, you'll typically see anywhere from 1.75 to just under 2, probably about 1.98. And then there's, obviously newer communities that the taxes are higher because they have these MUD districts or municipal utility districts where, taxes can exceed 3%. I would say no more than probably about 3.3. But yeah,
That's
as
too
you
high.
said, oof.
So, well, Gabe Saavedra, let's tell people how they can reach you.
My number is 832-928-9390, and you can find me on Facebook, TikTok, or Instagram at Gabe Saavedra, or Living Houston with Gabe, 832-928-9390.
And the YouTube channel again is
Living in Houston, Texas. If you just look that up, you'll find both channels.
Gabe, thanks for being with us.
Thank you.
Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title would not be possible without our partner, Stewart Insurance. With a focus in real estate and a special focus on real estate brokers, Stewart Insurance creates insurance plans to address the risks facing our industry today. They invest a significant amount of time helping real estate broker owners offset and manage their risks. Once again, John Bramlett with Stewart Insurance joins us for Insurance Talk. John, welcome.
Thank you, Bill. Always a pleasure.
The month of March is upon us. This is the first broadcast of March, and here we are again.
Happy March.
Happy March. Let's march on.
Let's march on.
And talk about insurance, of course.
Well, I think that we all face different ways to do business these days, and our clients, depending upon where they are in their stage of life, also like to do business differently. And I've been reading a lot about that lately, about how different groups like to do business, but we're kind of starting to see some consistencies throughout that process of how people like to do business. And, it's one that we, work to adapt with our clients. And it's really kind of a combination of the digital electronic world, but there's still a thirst for that personal contact. So it's that ability to meld those two that can ultimately make a good positive experience. And in our world, ultimately make sure that our clients are properly insured. But there's some consistencies that, regardless of who you're working with, that folks are still going to want. They're going to want some transparency. They're going to want to make sure that they understand what's going on without living in a world of jargon. It's easy for any industry to speak in your industry terms, but that may not be in a way that folks understand. Tom Carpentier, our president, talks about knocking a song that people can't hear. So you may be knocking a song on the desk or whatever that you can hear in your head, but somebody else can't pick up. So it's kind of the same thing with the jargon, that we want to make sure that people understand, what they are not buying. What does a policy have or doesn't have? What does that mean within the policy? But do it in language that's understandable. So there's an education aspect that clients still want. So even though they may want some abilities to adjust their policies online or the ability to do some applications online, there's still an element of wanting to have that conversation to make sure that they understand what they're having, or they have some specific needs that they want to take care of, and they want to be able to have that customizable policy. So again, to have that, you're going to need to have that conversation. So it's really interesting that we're living in a world where we're combining both the technologies that can make things move quickly and in some cases easily, but still have that educational, conversational aspect where people still want to be able to share, this is what my expectations are.
You're right. We are living in a world, and the jargon, when you talked about jargon, I'm thinking every category of life. I mean, if I'm an iron worker, if I'm a realtor, an insurance man, if I'm a pilot, each profession has its own set of terms. And in certain professions, you're needing to communicate to potential clients and customers. Sometimes you're not. But yeah, the jargon.
No,
fascinating.
Absolutely. So it is important that that you've got to understand what your industry terms are to be a subject matter expert. But if you're truly going to be a subject matter expert, you have the ability to educate and explain in terms that somebody understands. You may have a client that is really, in our world, we'll deal with clients from time to time that truly do understand insurance. Either it's something that they grew up with, they have a great interest in, they've bought a number of homes, they've had their own businesses, so that they understand that. But again, the bottom line is what's important to them. What is that pain that we're trying to alleviate, and then be able to explain that so it's understandable.
And the beauty is, in dealing with Stewart Insurance, the associates there, they have a unique ability to determine and discern the level of understanding in the very first few minutes of a conversation. So if you're not familiar with the insurance lingo, so to speak, they're right there to help you and even answer questions you may not have known to ask.
Exactly. So, our job is to make sure that we understand what those clients' needs are, or are there some pain points that they have that they're trying to alleviate? So make sure that we understand or understand where they are in their life, so that, there may be some things that aren't as important in a policy, so that might allow us to reduce the cost, or there's some things that are really critical to them and they may be really risk averse. So we want to make sure that there are elements of those coverages that are available, so if they do have an issue, they can offset some of that cost onto the insurance company. So again, it's like any business, getting to know your clients, having an intimate understanding of what their objectives are and where they are in their life, and then from that we can work with them to build the policy that makes the most sense.
And I'll tell you one thing that especially now is more important than ever. When you work with someone at Stewart Insurance, you get to talk with them on the phone. Perhaps there might be a part of the thing where you're texting them at some point. Who knows? But I will tell you, on a recent trip, John, as I dealt with a rental car company, as I dealt with a short-term stay organization and the host thereof, I didn't know if I'm talking to a real human or an AI. So as I'm going forth trying to get something resolved, I'm like, this might not even be a real person as I'm describing the situation. So we don't even know anymore. And the fact that if we do, as in working with Stewart Insurance, you're talking, or your Stewart Title for that matter, you're talking to someone that's actually a human being that cares and wants to walk you through in the best way possible versus this other situation with AI.
When you call our office, you're going to speak to Amber, and Amber is a real person.
She is.
She's a real person. Yes.
So are you.
It's not a Chat GPT come about. Yes. It's important for us that we have that opportunity, and there are clients that we may begin the discussion electronically, and then at the end we have that conversation, or vice versa. And then there are, within the policies and the companies that we work with, the clients have the ability to file claims directly themselves, or they can come and work with us on that. Or if they have questions, they can update their policies online, or they can allow us to do that. So, we're working with brands that are solid, brands that our clients will understand, brands that our clients recognize, that provide the coverage that they're looking for. We're very authentic in how we operate. We're very transparent in how we operate. It's almost, in a sense, the old kind of corner store feel, that we've got the technology that's needed in those transactions, but there's still that corner store feel, like you're working with a proprietor that you've known your whole life. Well, it's a tool.
We're adjusting.
Yeah, it's a tool that helps us help our clients better, and maybe in some cases faster, but it's not going to relate. It's not going to replace that conversation. It's not going to replace that understanding of what a client needs. It can help maybe facilitate some of that down the line, but it's not going to replace somebody truly providing value and to their clients.
In fact, I'm going to go on a step out here and say, as I think more about this, 2026, this is a year of adjustment as we learn how to work with AI, as we heard so much about it, especially the second half of last year. This is going to be an adjustment period as we go forth for businesses and all the things that are out there. It's fascinating times to live in, no doubt.
Well, so, that would make even more sense for you to work with Stewart Insurance, because you can study AI and spend your time worrying about that, and let us help you get your home insurance or your auto insurance taken care of. Well, if you do want to be properly insured, and all that simply means is that you're comfortable with the coverage you have. So as an individual or family, for your home, wind, auto, flood, watercraft, motorcycle, we can work with you on a policy that makes the most sense. Whether you're risk averse and want a lot of coverage, or maybe you're not, you're more comfortable being self-insured and you just want something for a catastrophic coverage, we can help you with that. Same on the business side with real estate brokers, independent title and attorney agents. We can work with you on your business insurance to make sure that you're properly insured. So professional liability coverage and general liability, cyber liability, workers' compensation, we can build plans to help, offset any exposures that your businesses might have, as well as help you minimize those risks that are out there.
The key, as always, is to be properly insured.
Absolutely. So understanding the coverage you have and being comfortable with that.
John, I was doing my exercise walk last week there in Dana Point, California, on the beach, and a guy must have seen one of our YouTube videos, because he said, "Hey, don't you do the Real Estate Matters show?" I said, "Well, I'm on vacation now, but yeah." And he said, I live in California. Can I too be properly insured with Stewart Insurance?"
And you told him?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. So all he has to do is give us a call at 866-798-2827. That's 866-798-2827.
I run into people all the time that want to be properly insured.
Well, and we appreciate the power of Bill Knapik, so thank you for that.
I strive to be the best ambassador that I possibly can. John, the phone number again is
866-798-2827. You can learn more about us at stewartinsurance.com, or email us at stewartinsurance@stewart.com.
John, thanks for being with us.
Always a pleasure, Bill.
As always, it's very exciting to have our Stewart associates on the program. And once again, Hope Moy is joining us. Hope, welcome to the show.
Hey, Bill. Good to see you.
Well, it's great to see you, Hope. Let's remind people the two offices for Stewart Title that you represent, and you're anxious to help people right there.
Absolutely. So I am in the Magnolia and Conroe offices within Montgomery County. So our Magnolia office is off of 1488 and 2978. We have two fantastic escrow officers there. And in Conroe, we're off of 336 and 105. And we have two escrow officers there as well.
And actually, I was thinking, as Gabe mentioned Montgomery, and I was watching the YouTube videos last night about Houston real estate. One of the videos was saying, leave Katy and go to Montgomery. Like it sounds like everyone's going to Montgomery. So I'm thinking about our offices in Stewart Title. How's the office doing? It sounds like it should be tremendous.
We're doing fantastic. Montgomery County is ever growing. The roads are changing constantly. There's so many new builders in the area. There's new subdivisions in the area, master plan communities. So a lot of people are coming into Montgomery County for sure.
I mean, when we talked a little bit, and of course not the tax rates vary, but you have a tax rate situation. One of the things they said last night as I was watching the videos, they're saying a lower crime, whatever that means, lower than what, but they even mentioned that as one of the Montgomery features. So sounds like it's a place that at least has people's attention right now, not just here, but those that are watching YouTube videos in New Jersey or wherever else.
Absolutely. I feel like you get a little bit of city and you get a little bit of country all kind of mixed into one. There are lots of things very close by as far as lots of things for the children to do, restaurants, that kind of thing, the commercial world of it. But then there's also a lot of space still that allows you to have some acreage and you're not too far away from life.
And also from a proximity standpoint, let's tell people you actually came probably from our Stewart Title office.
I
and
did.
What kind of a drive was it from Montgomery
to
right here at the Post Oak and 610 area?
I mean, mid-morning, it was about a 45-minute drive. So not bad. The traffic wasn't bad. It could get that way, but this morning I got super lucky.
Well, there you go. Well, also, one of the things you do is when people listen to the show, they know that the Stewart Title business development people like you and Kevin and the rest of the team, they know that you're doing things for the real estate professionals out there, and every once in a while you'll mention some of the activities, but you're doing a lot of activities. And knowing you probably, you're so planned, you have it seems like every second planned out, Hope.
Yes.
Is there anything going on that we should know about that you want to tell people?
I have some fun things coming up, and then we're also doing a lot of educational pieces as well. But I am working on a pickleball tournament. I'm super, super excited about it.
People love pickleball.
I know.
Do you play? I have not.
I've never played. So I feel like I need to play a couple of times before this happens. But in April, I haven't pushed that date out just yet, but it's coming, and it's going to be so much fun. And I'm going to give away pickles.
Okay. Well, that might be one drawing I don't need to put my card in because,
Do you like pickles?
Not really. They're okay, but it's not top of my list.
Okay.
But in the meantime, people rave about pickleball. I, too, want to try it someday. Have not done so yet. But in addition, you're also doing things, training for realtors,
we are doing
continuing
training.
Education, all those great things. You're serving the realtors.
We're doing all the normal classes, but I will say, and I just want to touch on it, but I would definitely say get with your local marketing rep and talk about the fence and stuff that is coming up and the new federal mandated rule that is starting March 1st. A lot of real estate agents, as we continue to talk about it and really try to drill in, understand these rules, understand the laws, and make sure that you're communicating with your clients about what this is. It's not a title company requirement. It is nationwide. And so there will be a lot of extra questions that the buyers and sellers will have to answer. And I feel like the real estate agent, let us teach you what this is or guide you with what it looks like so they can educate their customers.
Just another reason to stay close to your business development marketing reps with Stewart Title. We're all over the Houston area and beyond. Hope, let's tell people how they can reach you. Hope Moy.
So you can reach me on my cell at 346-224-1908. Again, it's 346-224-1908.
Hope, it's great to see you as always. Come back again.
Thank you. I'll see you soon.
And now, in a completely different geographic area, Fort Bend, and oh yeah, how sweet it is, Sugarland, Kevin Davidson is joining us once again. Mr. Davidson, welcome back. It's good to see you.
Thank you, Bill. Glad to be here.
And a congratulations in order as far as the President's Club for Stewart Title. You've been a recipient of that fine award based on all the great work you're doing here in the last year or so.
Yes, sir.
Way to
I
go.
was very surprised and honored to be selected.
Let's tell people a little bit about the President's Club and the distinction that is, and what you had to do to get that designation.
Well, I'm still learning what all that is right now.
You're still in the honeymoon period
to
of
be honest
feeling.
with
Okay,
you,
yeah.
I'd heard of it, and when Jennifer told me that I was selected, I didn't know what it meant. But it's an elite group of people that are selected based on not only numbers but personality, how their team feels about them, how their colleagues feels about them, what they're doing with the community, what they're doing in their office. Is just the whole package is the way it was explained to me. You're selected based on your peers up at Stewart Corporate.
And also, correct me if I'm wrong, it's not just here in Houston, but this is all over the
nationwide.
country.
Yes.
So it'll be interesting whenever you'll go to a gathering, as I understand, and when you go, you'll see people in, I don't know, Florida, California, New York, all that. So it's a great opportunity to exchange ideas and see what other people are doing and meet them.
With the thousands of employees that Stewart Title has, just in the United States alone, a small percentage of people were selected for this. And so, yes, and we're going to Savannah, Georgia in late April.
Fort Bend, Sugar Land. Let's tell people what you're doing and how you're helping the real estate professionals out there. We'll remind them, as they've already heard.
So my what makes me different is I educate. I try to get agents to understand that they're running a business and to treat it like a business. And so I learned a long time ago that one of the things that most brokerages, at least at the time that I got into this, a lot of them have changed a little bit and taken this on, but most brokerages don't teach their agents how to grow their business or generate leads and how to test and measure things and determine whether or not what they're doing is working or not. And that's my background. That was my education. So when I got into real estate before I got into Stewart Title, I was in a different aspect of the industry, and that's what I did. So I create and teach my own CE classes. I sit with agents one-on-one and teach them marketing concepts to grow their business and generate leads. Sit with and brokerages and teach at brokerages large-scale groups of agents.
So you are valuable. You make yourself a valuable resource to help them in their business, and it works both ways.
Yeah. So they, of course, when they sit down, they always want to know, of course, what does this cost? Well, it doesn't cost anything. But if I'm going to help you grow your business, I would hope you help me grow mine. And so most agents, when they see the results and they start getting leads and they start having fun with what they're doing, they're like, next one's going to Kevin. He's the one that helped me do this. And it works. I've only been with Stu for 3 years, but and I represent 2 offices, Sugar Land and Richmond, and they're both growing.
Okay, and when I was doing my exercise walk this morning, I thought about you, and this may be something only you and I know the reference, but I was thinking about you on the show and all that, and I said, hey, he's come a long way from the wolf's den.
Yes, yep.
So you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yep, oh, of course.
And indeed, yes, and we've known each other, I don't know how many, I lost count. But well, Kevin, let's tell people how they could be a beneficiary of this fine work you're doing in Sugar Land and Fort Bend.
Give me a call, 832-654-0527. That's 832-654-0527.
Good to see you, and congratulations once again. And when you come back next time after the event, tell us what it was like, all right?
I'll bring pictures.
She's back, Valerie Treese. What else do you want people to know about what you're doing at your company and how you're serving people in a magnificent way every day?
I just wanted to add that I'm not just a real estate agent. I'm a trusted advisor. I'm a skilled negotiator, and I'm compassionate about helping my clients through their real estate transaction.
How do you balance to serve, whether it's a buyer or seller? What are some of the mindsets that you have to say, okay, this situation's different, I'm going to adjust? You know what I'm saying?
Well, absolutely. It comes with conversation. It takes, asking the right questions and sitting and listening to what the client's needs are. And from there, we can then develop a strategy to make them successful.
Are you helping more buyers or sellers? How's the percentages in your world?
Towards the end of the year, I was helping more sellers, but as we've started 2026, it's more buyers with a couple of listings coming up here in March.
I think, like you said earlier, something about buyers coming out of the woodwork.
They are.
Well, let's bring them on, right?
Absolutely. Come on.
Well, what about from outside of Houston? You seeing anybody that certainly you've worked in this over a decade now in helping people, but are you seeing people that have reached out to you from other areas outside of the city here?
Yes, I have as well. I didn't mention it earlier, but Weichert also has a very large relocation department. And then me personally, I've had people who are coming back to the Houston area. They are familiar with the area, but they're coming back because Houston is a great place to live.
We have a lot of advantages. Now, the flip side of that, Valerie, how often do you see sellers that are exiting the state?
Actually, I did have one last year that had an opportunity out of state that they've left, but that's usually not my usual.
By the way, what state did they go to? Curious.
Kansas.
Kansas. No oceans anywhere near there. So
Not at all.
So, Valerie, let's tell people how they can reach you, Valerie Treese. At
713-927-5877. You could easily Google my name, Valerie Treese, Treece. I'm also on Facebook, LinkedIn, and my website is valerietreese.com. 713-927-5877.
Thanks for being with us.
Thank you.
And returning now for the final moments of the show is Gabe Saavedra. Yeah, I'm thinking about going snowboarding next year. It's on my list. You've inspired me. So
When are we going?
Once I get the board, I'll reach out, and then you can tell the right place to go. Apparently, it sounds like Angel Fire. Is that the deal?
Yeah, so next up on the list is Lake Tahoe.
So meanwhile, it sounds like the year is looking pretty good for you as you look ahead, and I love that YouTube channel.
Yeah, I have no other way to put it other than that this year is everything and even more than I could have, prayed for. I actually pulled this up. I have a younger agent on the team who we're going to be starting a Bible study within my neighborhood, and this has been a huge life shift for me, especially in business. Being a younger individual, I'm only 21. I've been doing it for 2 years.
You're only 21.
Correct.
Okay.
This is Hebrews chapter 12, verse 11. No discipline is enjoyable while it is happening. It's painful. But afterwards, there will be a peaceful harvest of right living for those who are trained in this way. Being a 21-year-old, it's very easy to feed into this narrative of go to school, drink on the weekends, maybe blow off a few classes, and, you have time in your 20s. And I have just put my nose to the grindstone for the past 2 years. Being, 19, I always said I didn't have, 2 pennies to rub together, and all I wanted to do was help my community and really branch off. Nobody in my family was a business owner, so it was kind of the catalyst to the whole family. And it was really hard. It was really hard. There were certainly times where I lost myself. And so, it's been a very blessed year this year. I have 13 under contract, or I should say pending and closed, which is awesome.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
Are those buyers or a mixture?
Mixture. So there's about 3 or 4 listings sprinkled in there.
Right now.
Correct.
Great inspiration. Gabe Saavedra, let's tell people how they can reach out to you.
So my phone number is 832-928-9390. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok at Gabe Saavedra. It's 832-928-9390.
Gabe, thanks for being with us.
Thanks, Bill.
And thank you all for listening to Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. I am your host, Bill Knapik. Right? That's right. With a great cast every week, always interesting stuff. Simply go to stewart.com/radio. You can see the show. You can see the YouTube video of this show. In addition, you can access past shows for years and years. So stewart.com/radio or Radio Bill YouTube channel. Thanks for listening. On behalf of John Bramlett, Bill Knapik, all of us at Stewart Title and Stewart Insurance, we appreciate you listening and hope to see you next week. Thank you.